Gary, your organization is a Leading Age Gold Partner,
Yes.
for which we thank you. Want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I work for MatrixCare, and MatrixCare is the largest provider of enterprise solutions, clinical, financial, operational, for senior living, skilled nursing, life plan communities, and home health.
So Leading Age members are all nonprofit organizations, as you know, each with a board of directors. As you work with so many organizations, what kinds of things have you seen in their governance models that you think work particularly well?
I think what works particularly well is the boards tend to have a nice sense of community. There are normally major community stakeholders involved in the boards from some of our nonprofit groups. And I have seen a recent trend in expanding that out a little bit to bring in more outside expertise, particularly in areas of future risk down the road where new board members can lend a special focus to.
Do you ever get involved in making presentations to boards?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The investments communities make in a solution like MatrixCare oftentimes are some of the most critical decisions an organization can make. So they're very, very important investments, and as a result, oftentimes we do ultimately present to the board, or at least a few select board members as they wind down their decision-making process.
And that must be a wide range of different kind of experiences in different board settings. Is that the case?
It really is. It's an interesting comment you make because almost immediately you can determine whether a board is either tightly governed or if a board member is attending to really sort of to be that contrasting influence and challenging you with questions. So of course, from our seat, our goal is to make sure the board meeting goes off without a hitch, and you hope that the board has been prepared for the decision and you don't have to make any points that haven't already been made. But I think it's an important part of the process. Again, an investment in an enterprise software solution is a huge decision for our communities to make. So it's, frankly, I enjoy getting the board involved in making those decisions.
That's great. So as you look at all these board experiences that you've had, what kinds of things would you advise our Leading Age members? What have you seen that strike you as best practices, or what have you seen that are, try to avoid this at all costs?
Yeah, I think, particularly when you contrast the for-profits versus the profits. Not too long ago, I had an occasion to read an annual report of a for-profit senior living entity. And I think one cue the not-for-profits can take from something like that is just the transparency element. And for me, that starts with a diverse board. And I think in this day and age, as senior care is facing a lot of macro challenges in the industry, I think it's important for an organization to push itself to make sure it has board members that represent potential calming influences in the marketplace that can lend a special lens, a special view. And so I'm talking in areas of, I think every not-for-profit board should have kind of a health plan member or a payer member. I think it's important to have a technology person on the board. I think a provider is essential to being on a board as well. And with that comes, you begin to avoiding, the dreaded scenario where a board is pretty much a rubber stamp, and they're deferential to the chairperson. So I think diversity is huge. With diversity, you're going to get the type of transparency you want, the type of feedback that you essentially need to navigate the rough waters ahead. So I think those are a couple comments that I would make based on my experiences.
One of the things I know that many of us wrestle with is the desire and really the push to get younger people to participate on the board. And, we oftentimes talk about that, aging services are not sexy enough or they're not technology focused enough for younger people. As you've seen various boards, what kinds of things would you recommend to grab some of these younger folks into board participation?
It's a huge opportunity. The industry that we serve certainly could be considered not sexy, as you described. But the wave of technology and the technological influence that will begin playing a huge role in managing the lives of seniors, I think is going to influence the younger generation. Am I seeing it yet? No, not necessarily. But I know the younger folks I engage with at our client sites who aren't necessarily board members, but who are participating in different ways. The sparkle in their eyes is infectious, and I attribute that a lot to them seeing their own grandparents embracing technology themselves. And to answer your question, I think that could be the linchpin to begin attracting younger folks into the senior side of healthcare. Whether that translates to board assignments in the near term, I'm not sure. I think it'd be certainly worth a try to bring someone with a whole new perspective and fresh set of eyes on the scenario. So I think that's the way I would comment on that.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks.